We are so happy and pleased to have with us tonight Giuseppe Piglianotti, who's the tenor in the Lucia di Lammermoor, this wonderful opera inspired from a novel by Walter Scott. So it's a fantastic opera that I'm sure some of you have seen and the others may wish to see before it finishes, before it closes down. We are also very pleased to have with us Massimo Zanetti, who's the conductor at the opera. And then we have a presenter and moderator who will introduce our artist, Jesse Rosenberg, who hardly needs an introduction because he's a
and have not a formal presentation, but an informal conversation, which I always find extremely enlightening, about the production, about the opera, the composer, and of course the musicians in question. I'm also very grateful to Marina Vecchi, pillar of the Italian community in Chicago, for doing what she usually does, that is the dirty work, setting up the mechanics of putting people in touch and organizing the event in that way. So we have these two really splendid, preeminent Italian musicians involved with this Lucia di Lammermoor. And if you take a look at their bios printed in the program for the opera, you will really be amazed. They are really, both of them, at the very, very top of their profession, in the kinds of careers that they're carrying on, the cities and theaters where they've been active. And it's just such a treat for us to have them here with us in Chicago. So one thing that I noticed, maybe if I could just start with Giuseppe Piglianotti, our tenor. I saw this also on your website, by the way, where I went to look for more information, and the very first thing it says is that you made your debut in Bergamo in 1998. It's very interesting. Bergamo is the place where Donizetti was born, and maybe later on we'll get to talk about the tenor's great affinity for Donizetti. It's made something of a specialty of Donizetti roles. But I was wondering why there's nothing at all about what happened before your debut in 1998. I don't know anything about you personally, where you were from, where you were born, raised, where you studied music. What happened that led you to decide to be the preeminent lyric opera tenor of this time, this generation?
Every time I have this question, I said, yeah, I think I was born with this gift. And so I never decided to be a singer. When I was 4 years old, I always liked to sing every time, when I were happy. So it was something that was born with me. And growing up, there was only the pleasure to sing, and not thinking I want to be a singer, and especially an opera singer, because I didn't know nothing about the opera when I was young. And so I started to be a normal teenager and just to like pop music and to listen to sing pop music also with the band, that's all. And later when I was 16 years old, I decided to go in the conservatory of my town, because I said, oh, it's impossible now that I don't know, and I cannot read music. And the only possibility for me was to learn classic music. And I said, okay, I will try with the classic music for a few months, and after I come back, I learn music, I come back to the pop.
What town? What town is this?
Reggio Calabria. I was born in South Italy. And so I start, but after 2-3 lessons, I fell in love with this music, with these new word for me. I said, oh, it's really so beautiful.
It's pretty much the same story. When I was a child, I really felt that I had a connection with this kind of feeling, and it was pretty weird because I my family wasn't had no connection at all with music. So, but I knew that I wanted to be a conductor. So, and I did all the stuff that was necessary in order to become a conductor.
Did you study at a conservatory?
I've studied at the Conservatory of Milan, and like Giuseppe, I did law university. I didn't finish, but I did 3 years. And then I had to stop because you have to take a decision, even because it's a bit different, the course of the study compared to the singer, because we have to do composition, we have to do an instrument, piano, and the conducting comes just at the end of these things. We have to do practically 3 different courses of 10 years each, and it's not easy, and it's not over. And the moment in which you are graduate, that moment you just start, because you have to start with master classes, and then you have to start with competitions, international competitions. So it's a long, long way. But I was sure about it.
Can everyone hear Maestro Zanetti well with the microphone?
Okay, you can come closer. Okay, I'm gonna do it.
But in general, you were satisfied with the musical education at the Milan Conservatory? You thought it prepared you well?
You know, I was very lucky because Milan means Scala. And the possibility to get in touch with the most important conductor in the world. And of course, my age, when I was studying, there was a man called Riccardo Muti, who was, I think you know something about this.
Yeah.
Very well. I was very, very lucky because I was studying, I was finishing my study. He started his charge of music director at La Scala from 1986. And he was very, very kind with me, very gentle. He allowed me to follow most of his, let's say, quite all the production he has done. Not all of them, but because there were some difficulties sometimes, but most of them. And I'm very grateful to him, really very grateful to him. In fact, last week when he was here doing concert, I had the lucky to meet him several times, and he was remembering a really fantastic man, apart of the fact that he's an incredible musician and incredible conductor. We know all that.
So this is the first time
Yes.
that you have gotten to know the score of Lucia, and
I can't say that, because of course, I mean, I'm Italian, and I've seen Lucia, I have already passed through the score, but never conducted. So of course it's different. But it's very, I think it's a beautiful thing when you can do a work like this after you have done so many other things. You can have a very complete approach to a piece.
okay. You believe that as far as vocal preparation and musical preparation, Donizetti has a central position in your training and in your musical life?
Yeah, I think if you are able to sing a simple melody, everyone can see, and in the score an easy part, like for example the beginning of Lucia d'amore, quanto è bella, quanto è cara. Everyone can sing this, but you have to sing in style. That's mean that you have to use your voice and to make a dilatando and a stringendo of tempi with the words, with the legato, and that has to look like it's easy, but it's not easy. It's a way to sing. It's a way to make flexible the music, and that is the bel canto. If you learn this in this kind of music, if you sing Verranno atteso, you have to be gentle with this music, and this is the way of bel canto has to be sung, and you can learn here in this kind of a repertoire. In Bellini especially, Bellini is the pure voice, the pure melody.